Hello. So, I was making videos on my phone up until this point. The very last video that I made, I said I was going to talk about the process and everything, but it cut me off right in the middle of it. So, I'm now making videos on my laptop. I'm probably going to keep making videos for maybe a week or two, and then after that, I think I'll just maybe do, like a month from whenever my last one is, and maybe like one more after that, just for like follow up on how my piercing's doing. I think I mentioned it in the video before it cut me off that I was gonna go back on Saturday and see if they could switch out shorter bars. I kind of forgot that Saturday was the 4th of July, so the shop was closed, and I went back on Monday because they're also closed on Sunday. So Monday was yesterday. Today marks 2 weeks since I've had it pierced. I went back yesterday and they were able to put in shorter bars. So here's my tongue. It still is a little bit swollen. I'm kind of flattening it out, like. Yeah. It's just a little bit swollen, not much. I think maybe once the swelling is entirely down, I might be able to shorten the bars by like 1 more millimeter. The piercer told me when I went in that the bar that it was pierced with, which I'm pretty sure is standard, was 17 millimeters in length. So it was 17 millimeters long. I actually have the bars, they're in my purse though. I'm not gonna grab them. And the ones that he put in are 14. So it's 3 millimeters difference, which, might not seem like much, but when it's in your mouth, it is very significant. I can't even tell you how much better they feel. I can actually, like, eat food. Like, I was eating food before, but I can, like, take bites, like, big bites. I'm not eating really slow. So I'm really, really happy. I love them. They're really cute, I think. I've been playing with them a little bit more now that the bars aren't, like, so long. Because before they were so long, it almost hurt to just even move them around. So, I'm real happy with them. The one thing that is going to take some getting used to is whenever I talk, and I mean, obviously, I'm not sure because I never really paid much attention to talking before I got them pierced because I didn't really have to. But, I'm pretty sure I'm talking the same way I was beforehand, and the balls, mostly the bottom ones, click against my teeth a lot while I'm talking. So, I don't think you can hear it. I mean, you probably can't hear it over a video, but I don't think you can hear it, like, if I'm talking to someone. But I can hear it because it's in my head. So, that's going to take a lot of getting used to. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm taking ibuprofen maybe like twice a day now just to kind of help the swelling. But I want to talk about the process since the video cut me off before. So, I got them pierced 2 weeks ago today on a Tuesday because the shop that I went to runs a buy one get one free piercings on Tuesdays. So I figured it was a great day to go get these done. The piercer that I went to was actually the first time I'd ever gotten to see him, but I knew of him and I had friends who had been pierced by him before. And like 2 years ago, when I decided that I wanted to get this piercing, I asked him about it, and he told me that it was actually a piercing that he used to have. So that made me feel like really comfortable about going to him to get it done. So I, told myself that whenever I ended up getting it done, I didn't know it ended up being 2 years later, that I'd go to him. So I did. And it was just awesome. It was great. He was great. I went in, I paid. I actually got 3 done, so I got these 2 and I got my nostril done at the same time. So, I went back into the piercing room and he had some nose studs out for me to choose from, and I picked a nose stud. And again, the the tongue bar length is standard whenever you first get it done. And they don't put, any jewels on the top or anything. Not whenever you're first getting it done. So those were standard. He didn't have to ask me anything about that. He gave me some mouthwash. He handed me a little cup. He's like, swish this around until I tell you to spit it out. I don't. It might have been like 30 seconds to a minute. I was, swishing it around. It tasted disgusting. It was really, really awful. I'm assuming, just some sort of antiseptic, something, but it was not like some pretty mint Listerine. It tasted real gross. So I spit that out. And he marked my tongue. So how he marked it, he drew a line straight down the center of my tongue. And then he made 2 marks where, he thought the piercing should go. And I took a look at it, and he explained to me that, I probably shouldn't, he shouldn't move them around very much from where he had initially marked them because of where my veins were, and, because my tongue's pretty short. So moving them any farther back would be problematic. And, I couldn't really move them any farther forward either, so that's basically where they had to go. And I was fine with that. It was a little different than where I imagined it, but, he knows more about it than I do, so I was fine with it. So he had everything marked. I sat down, and he told me, he's like, okay, he's like, I'm gonna get he already had the needles out, and he's like, I'm gonna clamp down your tongue, and what I want you to do is take 2 deep breaths, and he said, on the second exhale, I'm gonna pierce it. That was nice because it gave me some sort of control over when it was gonna happen. Sometimes I get nervous, 'cause, like, when I got my nipples pierced, he was like, I think he counted to 3, but, like, he counted it. I don't know. I was really nervous, but I took 1 deep breath and another deep breath, and then he pierced it for all 3 of them. So for both of these and my nostril. I always say this about all my piercings, and I still think it's true, that the clamp is the worst part. The clamp hurts real bad, because, they clamp down your tongue, and they put that rubber band on it, and it's putting so much pressure on it that, to me, I can't even, notice the needle, because there's already so much pressure there that the added pressure of the needle going through is barely noticeable to me. So it didn't hurt that much at all. When he clamped it, I had to stick out my tongue for 2 minutes straight. It was really weird. Stuck out my tongue, he kind of dried it out, clamped it, and he, was moving my tongue all around to check the vein, and check where he had it over the marking, and then, check my vein again. And then he, rested the needle on it. He's like, okay, take your deep breaths. And, he pierced, this one first, my left side first, and then he did the right side, same exact way. He pierced it, and then he put the jewelry in, and then he moved to the other side. The second side was a little bit more difficult because I already had the jewelry in the other side, and it was, starting to kind of pulse. You know how when you hurt yourself and you feel that heartbeat wherever that is. So it was pulsing, and it hurt, and he's trying to clamp the other side and pierce it. The second one didn't hurt much more at all. It felt a little bit more uncomfortable, but it didn't hurt. Even now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. I think these are I think I have 15 piercings now, and my nipples still hurt the worst. In my opinion, I know people who say that their septum hurt the worst, and pain's subjective, so it's different for everyone. But all the people that I know said that their tongue didn't hurt that bad. So if you're going in, your adrenaline's going, it's not that awful. And then after he did the tongue, he did the nose, and to be honest, and he said, because after he pierced it, I'm like, that one hurt more than the other 2 on my tongue. And, the nose piercing is really common, and I'm sure it doesn't hurt that much, but he said that it's because all my adrenaline was used on the other two, and he said that's why he decided to do the nose last, because he knew that that was going to happen. I've had 3 piercings before. I got my forward helix done. I only have 1 now, but I got all 3 of them done at once, and so it was one after the other. So I've had 3 done before, but maybe it was because the it was they're in 2 different areas. It might have hurt worse. I don't know, but so that was the process of it. For aftercare, he told me to avoid alcohol, so to avoid drinking, and he said that whenever I ate or if I smoked or whatever, to just rinse my mouth out with the warm water, and then to brush my teeth and use mouthwash. And then he said for the mouthwash to go get mouthwash that didn't have any alcohol in it, so it was a very I've heard people call it soft mouthwash. It's very gentle, and there isn't any alcohol in it. It's not that expensive. I got one of those huge bottles of mouthwash. It wasn't alcohol free for $4. It was an off brand. I went to CVS, so it was CVS brand. And what I decided to do was actually to dilute it even more, because I didn't want it to burn at all. So I got a glass, and I put about that much mouthwash in it, just a little bit, and then so it was 1 part mouthwash and 2 parts warm water. I used warm water. So I brushed my teeth and then use that mouthwash. Another thing he told me was to replace your toothbrush, because I think you're supposed to replace your toothbrush every 6 months anyways, but it has all kinds of bacteria, and with a fresh piercing, you want it to be clean. So I went out and got a new toothbrush. I got that Listerine. Well, it wasn't Listerine. I got that new mouthwash too, and he told me to also avoid whitening toothpaste, which happens to be all I use. So I had to get new toothpaste also. He told me that the chemical that they use to actually whiten your teeth in the toothpaste is kind of harsh on a piercing, so to avoid whitening toothpaste. So that's what I did for the first 2 weeks. That's all I've actually been doing. Today, actually, because I'm pretty desperate to get the rest of the swelling gone, I started doing sea salt rinses, which my piercer did not tell me to do, but I have other friends who have tongue piercings who do sea salt rinses. So, just some warm water and not a ton of sea salt, because if you use too much, it can actually dry out a piercing. And, just swish it around for 2 minutes, or as long as you can. I actually did, I filled up about half a glass, and then swished, 3 separate times, because I can't keep that much in my mouth for, a long period of time. So I would swish around for maybe 30 seconds, and then spit it out, and then do, another 30 seconds. So, if you're more comfortable doing sea salt rinse like that, that's also okay. But I was pretty good with just the mouthwash and, brushing my teeth twice a day for the first couple weeks. And I took ibuprofen every 4 hours, which helps with the swelling. It helps with pain and soreness. The only other thing that I would say is worth mentioning is that sleeping is kind of difficult. After you first get it pierced, your tongue. Now, I got it pierced on Tuesday, kind of in the early evening, so around 5 o'clock I got it pierced. And it really didn't swell up very much that night. It wasn't until the next day that I noticed that my tongue was taking up my whole mouth. And when I tried to sleep that night, it was real difficult to get my tongue in a place where I wasn't drooling everywhere or couldn't breathe, because I don't like breathing. But on top of that, whenever you do finally fall asleep, waking up in the morning, your tongue is just gonna hurt like hell. It hurt like hell. It still does. When I woke up this morning, it was real sore. But oddly enough, the pain and soreness kind of goes away after I brush my teeth. So I've gotten in the habit of the very first thing I do when I wake up is brush my teeth, because it made my tongue feel a ton better. So I'd wake up, pop an ibuprofen, and immediately brush my teeth and use mouthwash. So, brushing your teeth using that mouthwash or the sea salt rinse, whichever one, and then drinking water a lot, to like rinse out your mouth. You know, if you're like eating food or even like drinking soup. I was I was eating a lot of tomato soup, essentially drinking. And getting that stuff, like, because it gets in your piercing, hurt. So I would constantly be drinking water to kind of, you know, like flush out everything. Ice. I ate a lot of ice. What I would do is I actually bought, like, specifically, I went out and bought ice cube trays that had, like, the tiniest little ice cubes. The ice cube tray specifically said at the store when I bought it that it was for, using, like, if you have a water bottle and you want to put ice in it, or, putting in blenders or stuff. So it was, like, really small little ice cubes, and what I would do is I would put it on my tongue right between the piercings, and I just let it melt there. And I'd eat like 2 or 3, and it would numb my tongue, and it was great. It was great. I couldn't feel anything. It made it a lot more bearable. So, I think that basically covers all of the process that happened. I know I mentioned this before. I really wish I had a video of him actually doing it. But I went with my boyfriend, and he wasn't comfortable taking video. He didn't even want to watch it, and so I was really mad afterwards because I was like, you know, did you watch it? And he was like, yeah, I watched it. Like, he watched me get pierced. I'm like, he could have taken a video. But, anyways, unfortunately, I don't have a video. But that's everything that happened, you know, if you were like, trying to prepare yourself for if you go get it done. You know, I made these videos in the hopes that, you know, to just better inform people of what it's going to be like afterwards. That's what I do. I go and watch, like, even for my nostril, I went, I'm like, people getting their nose pierced. And, just because I want to know what's going to go on and what it's going to be like afterwards. So, that's it. Again, I'm going to make a few more videos just to kind of, you know, follow throughout the rest of the process. Because it is not completely healed. I do have plans to use, like, Bioplast, ring barbells, and, I want to get some retainers to wear, like, when I see my family. I actually am on my way to see my family now after this, and it's gonna be pretty hard to keep my mouth closed enough so they can't see the bottom of them. But I'm not even, because I know I got the shorter barbells in, but even after you go to get shorter barbells in, your tongue is still not healed. It feels better, but it is not healed. It is still an open wound. I'm probably not even going to venture to change these for at least a month. So that'd be about 6 weeks then, which is the normal healing time for most piercings. So, you know, just because I got them changed this first time, you know, it's still not healed. So, yeah. I'm probably gonna make a video maybe like a week, a few days. So yeah.